Hello dear student. Uh, the topic of today's today class is on concept of regional planning and development. These are the contents: concept of region, type of region, concept of regionalism, concept of regional planning, concept of regional development. So what is a region? What is region? A region is a geographic or areal unit with certain limits and bounds. The unit may consist of few villages or a number of countries. A region may therefore be thought of as an areal or spatial organization of varying dimension. This region original concept is a very important or occupies an important position in geographic research. So a region is, to sum up, a region is an area or place on the earth's surface where there is similarities of certain characteristic. It has to be mentioned that it can be that region can be of few villages or a number of countries. So the region consists of various types ranging from a single feature region to compage. So it doesn't mean that a region has to be comprised of only one. It starts from a single feature to multiple feature. Such physical characteristics such as landforms, climate, soil, vegetation, etc. becomes a geographic regions. When you combine these landform, climate, soil, and vegetation, it can be called as a geographic regions. So the other one is economic regions. When economic activities are considered, such as agriculture, industrial, etc., we can arrive at or can be called as economic regions. And there is another one which is called a cultural factors or cultural regions, such as language, religion, etc., which could be considered for classification or demarcated as a socio-cultural regions. Here is the example. In this map it shows the socio-cultural region, geographic region, economic region, but in under here socio-cultural region, only one single feature is taken, that is a religion. So here it is the map of India is delineated or demarcated based on religion, such as in the shading you will see there are different kind of shading, and in there the name is written Hindu mixed religion or Hindu religion, then Kashmiri. Here you'll see Muslim. So this is based on a mixed cultural region. So this is based on the divided based on the cultural regions. The other one is geographic region. Under this you will see India is divided based on the measured physiographic division based on the topography. You have the northern regions, which is you have the mountainous region, Himalayan region. You start from Jammu and Kashmir and end in the northeastern part of India. And the second one is the northern plains, the plain region, which is start from you have the northern parts of Punjab, and then UP, then Bihar, West Bengal, Haryana, till some part of Assam. You have the third desert region, that is which is part of Rajasthan. You have the peninsular plateau region, covers the central part and the southern part of India, and the last and not the least, you have the regions which is the coastal plain. And the last one is the island, consists of Andaman, Nicobar, Lakshadweep, etc. So the other region is economic region. This economic region in this map, it is taken in one single feature, that is agricultural regions. So this map of India is delineated based on the type of agricultural practice in various parts of India. So let's go to the definition. According to George, region is any portion of the earth's surface where physical conditions are homogeneous, can be considered to be a region in a geographic sense. So he meant to say that any part or any portion or any area of the earth where there is similarity of physical conditions, there is uniformity of a physical characteristic, can be considered as a region. A.J. Herbertson felt that a region is a complex of land, water, air, plant, animal, and man regarded in a spatial relationship together, constituting a definite portion of the earth's surface. So according to Taylor, the region is an area of the earth's surface. By F.J. Monkhouse, a region is a unit of the earth's surface differentiated by its specific characteristic. Here you see the type of region or regional units. Hierarchy of regions you can see. So here you have homogeneous, nodal, and ad hoc. So under homogeneous can also be divided into three. Homogeneous can be of single feature, which is like you have natural features such as vegetation, suppose vegetation, or economic, single features as I have already taken as agriculture or industrial regions. Or you have a cultural region, which you can take as language. You can be language or religion, and others. So under a multi-feature that is combined, it can be a resource planning region, which is combining of different features. It can be of different features that can you have Compage. When you combine with this combine many features, when you combine many features, that becomes a Compage region. Under nodal region you have metropolitan and exile. So this nodal it's also called as functional region. Example can be the metropolitan areas. I'll explain it in the next paragraph. So under ad hoc you have transitional zones, depressed area, or river valleys. So there are three main type of region. These are formal, functional, and ad hoc region. Functional is also called ad hoc. In the diagram I have given functional as nodal region or nodal. So what is a formal region? A formal region is a geographical region which is homogeneous and uniform within a specific criterion. This specific criterion could be physical, social, or political. Example, you have Himalayan region, which I have already shown, subtropical region, etc. So a formal region is also known as uniform or homogeneous region. So it is an area in which everyone share in common one or more distinctive characteristic. This common characteristic could be a cultural value such as language, an economic activity such as production of certain crops, or an environmental properties such as climate and weather patterns. Whatever the common characteristic is, it is present through the selected region. In certain formal regions, the characteristic may be predominant rather than universal, such as the wheat belt in North America. It is an area which the predominant crop is wheat, but other crops are grown here as well. So in certain formal regions can be delineated. When example here it is given about North America, where there are varieties of crops are cultivated cultivated but delineated as one region, that is wheat region. In that region there are other crops than wheat, but the predominant or the majority of the production or the cultivation is wheat region. That is why it is delineated as wheat region. It is further divided into single feature region, example physiographic regions of India, multiple feature region, example resource planning or planning region, and Campeche region, agricultural regions of the world. Whittlesey defined Campeche region as a uniform region where all the features of the physical, biotic, and social environment are functionally associated with human occupants. So the other type of region is functional region, or it can be or a nodal region. A functional region which displays a certain functional coherence and interdependence of parts when defined on the basis of certain criteria is known as functional region. So a functional region which has functional characteristic, where activities are function from a particular area, example a market area, main market area, where it function, where the goods and service flow through different part, a functional, that can be called a functional region. It is also known as nodal region, organized around a node or a focal point, as I had said, like market. It is sometimes referred as polarized region and is composed of heterogeneous units such as cities, towns, and villages, which are functionally interrelated. Example, national capital region. The characteristic chosen to define a functional region dominates at a certain focus or node and diminishes its importance outward. So how it is demarcated, that one characteristic is chosen at the central, where the service flow to the outward of the city. The region is tied in the central point by transportation, communication system, or by economic or functional association. So that the central point, where is a central point, it's the central point like market or a city, for example, like the goods and services like transportation, communication systems, or economic, which is like services of like flowing of goods from the city to outer parts of the city. So that is linked by transportation, communication system, or by economic or functional association. So one of the example of functional region is the circulation area of newspaper. So where does the newspaper comes from? So the area is centered around the city in which the newspaper is published in. The farther away from the city of circulation, the less people that read the newspaper. So you have a city, example, you take Guwahati, and then the Sentinel or the Assam Tribune, example, it's published in Guwahati. So you will see the flow of the newspaper towards different parts of the city, not only that, different parts of Assam. So that is kind of a functional area, So the other main part of type of region is ad hoc region. So ad hoc, or it also called as vernacular region, is a distinctive area where the inhabitants collectively consider themselves interconnected by a shared history. You have mutual interest and a common identity. Such regions are intellectual invention and a form of shorthand to identify things, people, and places. So these vernacular regions reflect a sense of place but rarely coincide with established jurisdictional borders. it is also called as perceptual reason, or as I have said, ad hoc reason. So this is a place where people exist as part of their cultural identity. This reason vary from person to person. They emerge from person's informal sense of place. So an example of vernacular reason could be the cultural reason, transitional reasons, or depressed reason. These ad hoc reasons are delineated base, or for a special purpose, like watershed management, river valley uh, planning and management. So those are the three types of reason. You have the formal, functional, and ad hoc reason. So the other main topic here in regional planning and development is regionalism. What is regionalism? Regionalism can be considered as a clustering of environmental, economic, social, and governmental factors to such an extent that distinct consciousness of separate identity within the whole, a need for autonomous planning. So it can be when you combine environmental, economic, social, and government factors. So that becomes, when you combine all this, when there is uniformity between environmental, social, economic, and also government factors, so that becomes a separate identity. When you combine the similarities in all this, there is a separate identity within this whole, and there is a need for this autonomous planning. uh, so this regionalism is something which remains to be realized and further developed, as well as phenomena which has already appeared and taken form. So in one sense, and perhaps the best one, is that regionalism is a way of life. It is a self-conscious process. So here in regionalism, you have the feeling of oneness. So the other one is regional planning. What is regional planning? So in the ports of Mackay, regional planning consists in the attempt at discovering the plans of the nature for attainments of man ends upon the earth. You have it means regional planning is attempt to plan of the nature for the attainments of man ends upon the earth. uh, it attempt to plan what man wants on earth, man needs on earth, planning for what man's required on the earth. So regional planning, it visualizes industry as a servant of culture, and its chief concern is a guidance within a region of the flow of civilization. So regional planning, they sees industry or any kind of manufacturing industry or factory, they sees this as a servant of culture, because wherever there is demand, then only the industry produce goods. Example, if the people of the civilization, if they demands some goods, then only the industry will produce. So if there is demand, then only there will be supply from the industry, or there will be production. So regional planning sees industry as a servant of culture. So regional planning asks not how wide an area can be brought under the edges of the metropolis, but how the population and civic facilities can be distributed so as to promote and stimulate and vivid and creative life throughout a whole region. So regional planning does not ask how the area of a city can be extended. They don't ask that how much Guwahati example can be extended to, extended to an area. They don't. They do. They. But they do how. But how the population and civic facilities can be distributed. They do how to. They how to distribute the facilities to all the population throughout the city, how water can be distributed sustainably throughout the city, or how the management of the management in distribution management and distribution of goods can be distributed equally to all throughout the region. So the regionalists attempt to plan such an area so that all site and resources from forest to city, from highland to water level may be soundly developed. So regionalists attempt to plan for an area so that all site and resources from forest to city may be soundly developed, and so the population will be distributed so as to utilize rather than destroy its natural advantage. Regional planning doesn't mean planning of big cities beyond the present areas. It means the reinvigoration and rehabilitation of whole regions so that products of culture and civilization. The concept of development. What is development? Development doesn't mean economic growth alone. It means a set of conditions which offer no constraint for man to develop his innate capabilities to a fullest extent, possibly to which allow him without hindrance of any kind to pursue the sustainable goal. So you have, it doesn't mean only economic growth alone, but it is for man to develop his innate capabilities and also to the fullest extent possible extent which allow him without any kind of hindrance to pursue the sustainable goals. It also means the evolution of a society from one stage to another in order that the society in question acquire better perception and greater control over its own environment. So development means, a progress or upliftment in a society. It doesn't mean only economic growth. It doesn't mean only social growth. It doesn't mean political development, but it says overall of the development of a human being, like how to sustainably use the natural resources to fulfill these man needs. It says the overall development of a society. So now we have learned what is development, or what does development means. We know that it doesn't mean only for economic growth. Let's see what regional development is. So regional development addresses region-wide environmental, social and economic issues which may require a regional focus. So it is a science of efficient placement of infrastructure and zoning for the sustainable growth of a region. So it means that when it try to address environmental, social and economic issues. So it says environmental, social and economic issues. So in those areas, a special require is needed for development. So it is a science of efficient placement of infrastructure and zoning for the sustainable growth of a region. How a region can be sustainably develop of a region. Regional development is a broad term but can be seen as a general effort to reduce regional disparity by supporting employment and well generating economic activities in regions. Regional development can be national or international in nature. So regional development in broad terms, it can be seen as an effort to reduce the regional disparities. So there is so much of disparity, or there's so much of gap between one region to another region. One region you can see development in terms of social, cultural, economic, environmental, but other region you will see there is no proper transportation, transport and communication, transport and communication. You have economic development. So this lagging behind in everything in that region. The other one is florist. So it tries to reduce the gap between two regions by supporting, by giving employment in the region where it is lagging, and how to generate wealth from that. So regional development therefore is interpreted as intra-regional development designed to solve the problem of regions lagging behind. So regional development it tries to solve the problems of a region lagging behind. So suppose a region is lagging behind in transport and communication. The regional development or the regional planners try to see those problems. What are the problems lagging behind? What are the problems of such backwardness is transportation, and it tries to solve, and it will design to solve those problems. So this is the end of today's slides. I hope you understood by now the concept of regional planning and development. If you have any questions, you can comment below. These are the references from which all this has been taken. Thank you.